The Total Knuckle Pest Removal Company has been operating pesticide-free since '93.
Welcome back to Create Astral, Episode 4. We're playing with sand from the moon. So cheesy. Speaking of cheesy, I made a backpack. You guys can have it. Not Wisconsin.
When I was a little guy, I always thought maybe I could be a spaceman or something when I grow up and go to space in a rocket, but...
In order to fulfill my dreams of becoming cosmonaut, we're gonna need a lot of Desh to make a rocket. You can find Desh on the moon, but you cannot breathe on the moon. So we're doing it here on Earth at a surprisingly fast rate. And in this video, I'm gonna show you the build that I come up with to make it the Desh. You know, I started down this rabbit hole a couple days ago because I needed gunpowder. And after building all of this, I don't remember why I needed gunpowder. The good news is when I need it, we'll have it. I'm assuming that most of the people that are watching this video series are playing this pack. But if you're not, in this mod pack, you can make a moonstone. If you have a piece of stone and you put down the lava and water, when they meet, you get moonstone. And when you break it, you get moon cobblestone. And also, sometimes you get basalt. If you take the moon cobblestone and smelt it, it turns it back into moonstone. If you crush the moonstone, you get moon sand. And if you wash the moon sand, not like that, with a fan, you get the Desh, and you also get cheese. And we're gonna need the cheese to make something later on. What the heck do you use this for? Blaze cakes. You need the cheese with these two. Slime. Yes. And if you take the moon sand and you run it through a sifter with an andesite mesh on the sifter, you end up getting these three things: glowstone dust, Certus, quartz dust, and the gunpowder that we'll discover why we need later. I know, I'm getting there, relax. I just want to take a little tour, and this is the best way that I can think of to do the tour so we can admire the builds in all their beauty. Now let's talk about how they work. Alright, the quadricopter's a little janky to fly around with, so we're going to do this old school with some blocks. But let's start at the top of the sifting operation for the moon sand. We're making moonstone right here, like I showed you, with the lava and the water. We have a drill that's breaking it, and then a fan behind here is blowing it into a hopper that feeds a chest below here. And I have a clutch right here that controls the drill, and this clutch gets turned off when this chest is filled with moon cobblestone. We bust down a couple layers here. I wish there was some type of creative flight in this pack, and if there is, let me know in the comments down below, because I looked, I couldn't really find anything that was accessible early, mid-game-ish, wherever we are right now. So the cobblestone goes into here. Boom, that's all moon cobblestone. When this thing fills up to 75%, I have behind here a stockpile switch that activates a redstone signal that's tied to that clutch above, and it'll shut this off from making more moon cobblestone. This is feeding out stacks of 64 onto a depot with a fan and lava below here. That turns it into moonstone. The moonstone gets fed onto here, stacks of 64, and then it feeds down through these crushing wheels that turn it into moon sand, and then the moon sand gets fed into the sifter. Now the goofy thing with this sifter is you have to limit the output on it. So I have a smart chute here with a filter of these three materials that are allowed to go through there. If you don't filter this, the moon sand will just run directly through there. And then I have that dropping into an item vault behind here. And then these boxes are pulling out the items from the item vault. You can set these up. Just use this, configure slots in. It's pulling auto from the back. Done. Easy peasy. And then also I have another stockpile switch here so that when these fill up and this fills up, it shuts off the whole operation. And then I'm taking the basalt that we get. We're going to need basalt later on down the line. We're going to need basalt to make diorite. And we're going to use the diorite by crushing that to get nether quartz later on down the line. You pour hot melted liquid soul over top of basalt, you get diorite. So I'm taking the basalt out of the side of that collection box, drops through this chute, boom, comes into here. The basalt drops into there, and then let me wrap around over here. And then the basalt is being stored in this item vault. And when this item vault gets filled, the basalt will continue to run and drop right into there, and we'll get rid of all the extras so we don't lag out our world. Let's move over to here. How the heck am I going to show you this? Maybe we should turn it off for safety's sake. I don't want to die in those crushing wheels. No, that's no fun. That would make for a funny video. We go right here. We're going to build up with these blocks, and we're going to start at the very top of this operation. We're making moonstone again, same way that we're doing it over there, but here we're doing it 6 different times. Now the moonstone being pushed, or the cobblestone when it breaks, is pushed out by the fan. And originally I had chutes here to collect it, and it would fall right down into the chute. But sometimes the chutes wouldn't grab the block, so putting a filter there made sure that blocks didn't sit in that space and waste memory, whatever it does, but it lags out your world if you have a bunch of them sitting there. So they drop down through these chutes. Boom, they go right into these chests right here. I can't open them because I have stuff on top of them. On this side, we're taking out the cobblestone and we're smelting it the same way. Underneath this chute, I have smart chutes with the filter. So only moonstone will drop down into these 6 sets of crushing wheels. And on the back side over here, what I did with the basalt that we're getting is that's coming out this belt and it gets thrown into this chute. And then it drops down onto this belt line and goes through this chute and gets stored in the basalt container. Let me get back up there. Boy, creative flight would be real helpful right about now. All right, so then you got the moonstone. Boom, it drops through these crushing wheels. It gets crushed and turned into moon sand. The sand goes through these chutes and feeds these storage units right here, crude storage units. And when they fill up to 64, I have these item filters set to 64. So we're only washing stacks of sand at a time. And then underneath here, I have 12 fans with water on top of them. Turns that into Desh and cheese. That goes into this item vault. And then these boxes over here are pulling out the Desh and the cheese. And I realized that the cheese is going to fill up before the Desh because we're taking the Desh nuggets, we're putting them into this mechanical crafter, turns them into ingots. The ingots get stored here, and when this box fills up, I'll store nuggets until this box fills up. And we're going to take the cheese, and we're going to put the cheese into this item vault right here. So we click on that, boom, out. We want to output right there, boom. All the cheese will be stored in here. And then I have a stockpile switch here, which is tied to this item vault. And when this item vault fills up to 75%, it'll activate the redstone link right here, which is tied to this clutch, which controls Desh and cheese. And folks, I think I did my best trying to explain how this operation works. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I appreciate you watching it. Have fun and peace.